Welcome into the Cowboys Report. I am Tom Downey. Today's show, look, we're at the halfway mark of the season. What a better time to look at the Cowboys 2023 NFL draft class, kind of give out some grades so far this year and break down the good, the bad, and frankly, a lot of the ugly. Now, I do want to make note here. The overall determination of a draft class should not be done until 3 years from now, so we actually know if it's a boom or a bust or a hit or a miss or whatever. But we're just focused in on what we've seen so far through a half season. We will grade on a curve for the day 3 selections. You know, those guys are day 3 picks. Expectations matter here. And, you know, there is plenty of upside down the road, but again, we're focused on the short-term results. So the Cowboys' 8-man rookie class here is Mazi Smith, the first-round pick, Luke Schoonmaker in the second, DeMarvion Overshown in the third, Viliami Fehoko in the fourth, Asim Richards in the fifth, Eric Scott in the sixth, Deuce Vaughn as well. Remember, they traded up to go get Eric Scott, and Jalen Brooks in the 7th round. I'll give out grades here overall for each individual player, but you guys have been watching the games too, and I think we all are in agreement of how these grades are going to go. So grade the Cowboys rookies so far this year. A, B, C, D, or F. We'll go in order of the picks. Oh, Mazi. Fatty's Only's single greatest moment, I suppose. He has not done anything this year. He's played 25% of the snaps for the Dallas Cowboys, 5 tackles, 1 TFL, 1 pressure. His role is not to be a stat sheet stuffer. It's to, in general, help keep the linebackers clean, get tackles going, help stop the run. And for the most part, the run defense has done a decent job of that. There have been some mistakes, but overall, the run defense has not been a massive liability this year. Frankly, against the Eagles, it was the explosive plays and the penalties that they allowed. However, we're still discussing a 25% snap count player. Not great. All right? He doesn't offer enough yet as a pass rusher, so my grade is a D. Mazi Smith was always going to need time. That has not changed. I'm not saying he's a bust or I'm out on Mazi whatsoever, but focusing only on what he's done this year, we all have eyes. You know, you knew going in it was going to be a developmental piece. It was going to take some time, but there has been very little year 1 impact. Maybe against the Giants, who will probably try to run the ball a lot, he can make some more splash plays. But for now, it's still a work in progress, but there are signs of improvement on the film. Staying a little bit lower, better hand usage. You need patience, but for the here and now, it's not very good. Now looking ahead, will Mazi Smith develop into a key player? Not a superstar, not UDFA, just a good player for the Dallas Cowboys. Y for yes, N for no. If the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it and go sound off in the comments section. Let's go to Luke Schoonmaker, the tight end. The Cowboys' 2nd-round pick has played a third of the snaps on offense. Yeah, your first 2 picks are combine it to about 30% of your snaps. That's really bad. 8 games played for Schoonmaker. He's got 3 catches, 14 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 drops. That's bad. Here's my issue with this pick. Great athlete. He can hold up in blocking decently. The Cowboys drafted a backup tight end who is worse and older than the current starter in Jake Ferguson, and they spent a 2nd-round pick on that. That's not what you're going for. Like that's not good enough. And that's why I'm giving it an F. And that's why I'm being a little bit more negative on Schoonmaker, because at least with Mazi, looking ahead, you've got the upside to do more. You've got the potential to have him emerge as a key part and have success, but isn't Schoonmaker's ceiling capped? Is he ever going to be better than what we've gotten so far out of Jake Ferguson? I don't think so. Look at what happened. The Cowboys felt they needed a tight end, and they reached on one, and the results have been really bad so far. Who has been the bigger disappointment for you guys? MS for Mazi Smith, LS for Luke Schoonmaker. Sound off for me in the comments section right now. Now for the one that makes me sad. That's DeMarvion Overshown. He looked awesome in the preseason, in camp. He was in line for a significant role, and then unfortunately tears his ACL, and now we'll see. He should be back to go next season, but the difference between return to play and return to performance, and it sucks. So I'm actually not going to grade Overshown. He was trending towards being by far your most impactful first-year player. I think even if LV had been healthy, he would have been starting at linebacker, probably alongside LVE. It's disappointing, but it's because of unfortunate luck with injuries. So I liked what I saw at the beginning, but incomplete for now. Today's show was made possible by GameTime. You should not have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event, whether it's concert, theater, or, of course, sports, right? Which I don't get to go to football games anymore because we got the show to do. It makes it more fun. One thing I like most about GameTime is you can see your seat before you buy. It's kind of like a live photo. You select your seat, and you can move it to the left, to the right, and see what kind of angles you get and just actually have a good feel for where you're going to be sitting. I love the zone deals as well. You pick the section. GameTime picks the seats because, hey, why do you have to care if you're sitting in seat 7 or seat 13? Average of 18% savings when you do that, by the way. They're also giving you guys $20 off your first purchase when you use promo code CowboysChat, CowboysChat, Cowboys Chat, when you create your account at GameTime.co and download the app. Link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. Of course, terms do apply. Create your account and redeem code CowboysChat. Links in the comments and the description of today's show. Viliami Fehoko, the fourth rounder from San Jose State, has not been active for any game this year. Now, he is a fourth rounder, so I will grade him a little bit on the curve here, D-, because it's clearly a redshirt year, which we are now 4 picks deep to the Cowboys draft class, and your best guys played 33% of your snaps. And now you're into day 3, when the expectations are, when you get out to the top like 175, can they make the roster or not? Who knows? It's not been a great, your premium picks, your first 4 picks, just not very good. Now, we will have a live Cowboys-Giants watch party for you guys on Sunday. You knew we were going to be there, right? We don't miss games. Hit that sub button, even when I had the food poisoning the one day and I battled through it. YouTube.com/@CowboysTV. Actually now one of your better draft picks this year, relative to expectations. Asim Richards, the 5th-round pick. He's actually been pressed into duty a little bit this year. And he clearly needs more time. He probably should have been flagged for a hold on the Brandon Cooks touchdown against the Rams, but he got away with it. Hasn't been a massive liability in the small sample size. I think he just needs some more time in an NFL weight room to add some power, add some strength, and give him some more go. But unlike some of your recent day 3 draft picks along the offensive line, he's actually played and he's actually showed promise. So I'm going to give it a B. I think this has been it's been a good pick so far. You don't really want to have him play more than what he's played so far because that means you got injuries up front. But I've seen enough promise say it's a good pick for the Cowboys, at least based on expectations so far. Now, who has been the best rookie for the Dallas Cowboys so far this season? And maybe it's Asim Richards. Maybe it's still Mazi Smith. Maybe it's one of those UDFAs we'll get to here in a little bit. Sound off in the comments section. Let's go to Eric Scott, the forgotten 6th-round pick because he plays corner. He has yet to be active for a single game this season. Kind of sucks. You're injured at corner. You've not put him on the active roster. That's a D. I'm not going to flunk a 6th-round pick. It's a 6th-rounder. Come on. Now, you did move a 5th-round pick for him, which, don't know about that one there, Jim. But it's a redshirt year. Let's check in later. No real impact there. Now for apparently the controversial one, which is Deuce Vaughn. Now, the 6th-round pick for the beginning part of the season, up until you had special teams injuries, was actually your most productive draft pick. Yeah, sounds crazy, right? Before you had to kind of bench him because he doesn't help on special teams, which is a negative against him. He was actually producing for you so far this year. He had been, an impact piece, not an impact piece, but he'd been a piece for you up in the backfield, and at least maybe more so in the passing game. Most of his runs came in garbage time when the backup offensive line was in. There were really no holes, only averaging 2 yards a carry, but 25 touches is actually a not insignificant amount for Deuce Vaughn. It's just that he hasn't done that much with them. The lack of special teams value that's not return-based does bring it down here. But he's played for you. Like, if you only include the games active, his snap count percentage is actually higher than most rookies on this team, which is a damning indictment on what else you have done so far this year. So I'll give him a C+. I kind of waffle between a B- and a C+. Late 6th-round pick, always consider the expectations of probably not going to do that much for you in year one. And then you look at the other 6th-round picks across the league. There's the occasional big hit immediately. Every now and then you get a DeMarvion Bland, but you're a lot more likely to end up with Joe Jackson or something along those lines, where there's just not much, Devin Harper, not much impact. Now, should Deuce Vaughn play more this year? We'll talk about our small back once again. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Sound off in the comments section. Jalen Brooks is next up. The 7th rounder, 20 snaps on offense and 24 on special teams. I'll give it a B-. Honestly, as a 7th rounder, late 7th rounder, making the team is a fairly significant step in terms of impact. Like, he's on the 53-man roster. They like him enough to continue with that. So, no real impact, but hey, he ended up making the team, and that is significant as far as I'm concerned. Now, what maybe has been your most impactful stuff has been your undrafted free agents. Hey, TJ Bass actually played pretty well when he had to play at right guard at times this year, so I like what I've seen from him. Hunter Lipke is kind of an H-back, fullback, and core special teamer, has done some nice things. Tyrus Wheat's on the active roster, but I don't think he's that good. But hey, he's UDFA made the roster. That's a big deal. And if we get to include the kicker, Brandon Aubrey, who is technically a rookie, your rookie kicker has been your best player from your draft class and UDFA class, which is great for Aubrey. Let's go, Brandon, but also really bad for the Cowboys. In conclusion, this has been a D so far. Barely any impact. And frankly, the kicker in the UDFA class saves your grades. How can you be a playoff team with 8 draft picks, and we're halfway through the season, and we're debating whether or not the biggest impact from your rookies has been, it can make an argument it's the UDFAs, and then your draft class is like, Deuce Vaughn has 25 touches. That's actually kind of a lot for everyone else. Like, what? How does Deuce Vaughn have 8x the touches as your 2nd-round pick at tight end? Your 4th running back. Oof, that's a bad class.